Hello everyone! I know it's been forever since I uploaded a video, and I'm sorry. Life has been super hectic lately, which I will cover in a later video, and I now have a full-time job which drains all of my energy. Anyway, I have a brand new laptop, and I'm going to be using the microphone in my earbuds to record my voice. Hopefully it sounds good and it records clearly. In this speed paint storytime with Fairy Warrior, I will be discussing how I create characters, their designs, and the worlds they live in. When doing this, I always ask myself questions that help me form the basis of the world and the characters within it. Whenever I start thinking of a new story idea, I always think of who the protagonist and the antagonist will be and what their motivations and personalities will be like. I usually try to think of what both of the characters' ideals are and why they don't get along. Do they have opposing views on the world's problems? Is there some sort of misunderstanding between the two? Is there a bad history between the characters that cause them to be enemies? Along with that, you should also think about the character's history and what events have led them to their current self. This can help with defining your characters and giving them more concrete reasons for their actions. To help elaborate on their personality, it helps to have other characters that they can interact with, because through their interactions, you can get a better idea of what kind of person they are by how they talk to others. As for the design, how can you help show their personality? People tend to wear clothing that defines who they are. Along with that, how can you make their outfit unique? If you are creating multiple outfits for one character, there should be something that ties each of the outfits together, whether it's the same color scheme, same patterns or motifs, or the same style. What kind of accessories will they wear that accents your character's taste, and what significance will they have? Another character that I'm designing, who lives in the same universe as the Pagan Witch, wears a necklace that has a shard of glass as a decorative object. The shard of glass is a reminder of the old world and what they lost due to humankind's folly. Now, with their design, what color scheme will you use? Will it be super contrasting with lights and darks? Will they be warm or cool colored? And do the colors themselves have significance? What color palette speaks to your aesthetic of the world? As for world building, what's the main problem in your world that the protagonist has to fix? Or what are some of the rules in this world? What sort of government is in charge of the people, and how do these people follow the rules? If there are multiple countries, states, etc. in the world, how do they view each other? What shared history do they all have? Have there been any major conflicts between them that give their people misconceptions about the other? What sort of technology or magic does your world have access to? What religion or belief system do they adhere to? Is there something wrong, or do they need to be challenged by the people? How do people use or misuse the magic/technology? For myself, I not only think about these questions, but I also find inspiration from outside sources like music, art, and the weird trippy dreams I have at night. Sometimes my characters are inspired by music, such as my character, Nocturne. You can find art of her on my DeviantArt. Her name itself was inspired by the song Nocturne by Sleepy Garden. It's a very pretty song, and the song just called to me as fitting for the character who is a half-demon character. Another song that speaks to me for this character is In the Shadows by Beyond the Black. The song is really accurate to Nocturne's personality of not wanting to die in the shadows and how she will survive regardless of what the world wants. Sometimes you find inspiration from the natural world around you, such as landscapes and scenery. Or you can find inspiration from the world's problems and where we're heading to as a species, which is my inspiration for the Pagan Witch's world and her story. The last thing I find inspiration from are my weird dreams that I can usually remember pretty well. Most of them are fantasy themed because I'm, well, me. When I wake up, I immediately message my fiance and tell him about the weird dream I had, and I try to add as much detail about it as I can. Then, once I've written it down, it helps me remember what my dream was about and what happened. Then I can organize and sequence the order of my dreams while creating a plot line for the dream that I had. Now, we as creators intentionally or unintentionally add little bits of ourselves into our creation, whether it's our ideals or personality. I have a tendency of daydreaming a lot, so when I'm off in my own little world, I'm usually putting myself in the shoes of my characters, and I try to envision where the characters will go in the story and what actions they choose. I usually do have an overarching plotline that I want to hit in the story, but I have to find the smaller events that link the larger events within the plotline so everything makes sense. For the plot, what is it that you want to achieve? Is there some sort of lesson that you want your readers to take away? Do you want them to question what they believe? So, that's just a rundown of how I create my characters, their designs, the world they live in, and the plotline for my stories. I hope you've found these ideas to be helpful with your creation. If you enjoyed my story, leave a like and feel free to subscribe. Now that I have two laptops, my new one is my drawing and work laptop, while my old one is my entertainment system, so I can watch videos and stuff while I record. I'll be able to post more videos regularly. Hopefully, anyway. No guarantees because work is just draining all of my energy. So, if you have any suggestions for stories you would like me to tell you, please leave them in the comments. I hope to see you in the next video, and I hope your lives are filled with magic and rainbow unicorns.